Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and for anyone that was interested, I wanted to show my complete small citrus collection, including unhealthy ones that have nearly died or have died or suffered from dieback or leaf loss or various pests diseases, so you could sort of see some of the problems we have to encounter with them. So I'm going to start on the left hand side here. Now the one at the back is actually the very first citrus plant I ever got. That was a Tahiti lime, and I think I must have got that in 2018. Now, as it was the first one I got, it's the first one that suffered from me overwatering it, and I overwatered it in winter, and basically it died back to little more than a stump at the bottom. But I took it out of its pot and cleaned all the roots off and repotted it, and it has gradually growing in bits and pieces ever since. And as you can probably see, it's got some embryo fruits on it now. I've no idea if any of them will set. In front of it I've got one of my more recent lime purchases. This is supposed to be a key lime. Remains to be seen if it is a key lime. They have a habit of mislabeling plants over here, but we'll find out, I guess, in time. So that's my key lime. In front of it is the red ornamental lime that again was one of my more recent purchases. That's got flower buds all over it and lots of lovely new young fresh growth, so I'm very pleased with that. This I bought as a mandarin, but I've been told by various citrus experts that it's probably, I think, Citrus myrtifolia, the myrtle leaf citrus, because they said the leaves are too small for a mandarin. You can see it's got fruits on it. May or may not be edible, remains to be seen. Now the other citrus I've had the longest is that kumquat there. Now that's another one that died right back to the graft from root rot. It got the dreaded black tips dieback on it, where I'd obviously overwatered it and rotted the roots, and eventually it died back just to the wooden stump and that little 6-inch piece of stem. But it has, in the last 2 years, slowly recovered and has put some nice new green growth on it this year. It hasn't flowered again, but at least it's survived. There's another kumquat down there that I have for decorative purposes. I don't particularly like the fruits. I find them on this variety at least very bitter and not my taste at all, but it's nice to have it on the windowsill. In front of that here we've got a variegated Eureka lemon. That's one that has the pink flesh. Has got a couple of fruits on it. It's flowered this year, but I had a lot of problems again with leaf loss and root problems with it, so I'm not sure how well that's recovering. Now at the back there I have what's supposed to be one of my first 2 pomelos. I did have a couple of people comment and say they weren't sure it was a pomelo, it might be a cross, because they said that the leaves didn't seem to have separate petioles on and it's a bit spiny. But I have been reading up and there's quite a few pomelo varieties that do have spines and also have leaves without petioles on, so I'm not sure. It's got lots of flower buds coming up. You probably can't see them in the video, but I think in a month's time it'll have plenty of flowers on it. Now in front of that excuse me, we've got in full flower, this is a grapefruit Rio Red. Lots of flowers on it, may or may not set fruit, again we'll have to see. Now the plant in front of the Rio Red is another pomelo. This one is Chandler, and as you can see this one has got lots of flowers coming on it now. So I'm pleased, and lots of new growth as well, so that's doing really well. I'm happy with that one. Tucked away down on the floor there is a cutting that I successfully rooted. When I got the first pomelo, a branch had snapped off in the box, and I've managed to root that over winter, so I'm quite pleased with how that's progressed. Okay, so heading to the back again there, I've got a blood orange variety Sanguinelli there, showing lots of healthy new growth, and it has got flower buds on it, so it's probably got large enough now where it might hold a fruit. We will wait and see. Now, featured about a month or so back. In front of this one is my, let me see if I can get this right. This is Cold Hardy Satsuma Unshu Mikan. Now, I featured this in the video because I had it outside in February because it's supposed to be one of the hardiest when we had those very, very cold frosts. And the leaves got very damaged on it, and then I moved it into the shed, and I think I cooked it in there from lack of water. Either I had a root issue and it dropped every single leaf on it, but the stems obviously look very healthy, and in fact you probably won't be able to see, but it has now got loads of new shoots and flower buds appearing all over the plant, so it looks like that one's going to be fine, I'm pleased to say. In front of it is my ornamental Amalfi lemon. This was one that was on my front windowsill in my front room, and I didn't notice it got a massive infestation of spider mites on it. I didn't see because I wasn't going in there, which I treated, but obviously it's been left with these horribly mottled leaves. But when the new growth comes, it'll be nice and healthy. But it has actually got 2 lemons that look as if they've set on it, and possibly some more as well, so I'll keep that well fed, see how it goes. This little plant at the front here is a Cara orange. Looks like it's okay. Got a couple of issues with the leaves, but I could do with some warm weather, and hopefully it'll make a good recovery. Heading to the back, I've got my largest grapefruit, one I've had for a long time, and it's had through various crises of root problems and goodness knows what else. That's my Grapefruit Star Ruby, but it's not looking too bad. It hasn't got any dieback on it at the moment, so I'm hoping it's suddenly going to send out a load of new shoots. In front of it, this standard here is a navel orange, Lane's Late. So that's my second navel orange variety. Now in front of that, I've got the first of my Still Living Caviar limes. That's a pink variety, and the one next to it is the yellow fleshed variety. In front of that, the citrus is my latest, the last citrus I bought to complete my collection, which is a yuzu, has flowers on it. In front of the yuzu, I've got this very light leaved ones. Now I think this is, let me have a look at the variety. This is a Swiss orange. This had spider mites when I got it, but I think I've got rid of those now. Came from Italy originally. Now I've put this out here just for the sake of interest. This bare stem is the remains of my grafted caviar lime, the one I didn't even particularly want, but it was the first one I got, and the only one I could find was a big standard, which was unfortunately very expensive, and it just didn't do. It just died off in the kitchen over winter. I'm not sure if I overwatered it or if it got pests and diseases on it. The reason I've kept it is because I've done a bare root repot on it, and in fact the main stem is alive up to about here. It's green to about here. The rest of this is dead, so this is gone. But what I'm thinking is cutting this off and see if I can encourage, I'm hoping the rootstock might put out side shoots, and then I could graft something back onto it again, so it's worth keeping it, see if the rootstock survived. At the end here, this one is a Mandarin Oro Grande, or Oro Grande. No flowers or fruits on that one at all. At the front here in full flower is my Sanford Cura Fura. Tucked away behind there is a Myers lemon, which you can just about see. That again I had inside, and I've overwatered it and it's succumbed to root rot, so I took it out and repotted it into a lightweight free draining soil, and that looks like it's starting to recover now. My next one is an unknown lemon variety. It was bought originally from one of the big box stores over here, or DIY stores. It is, I suspect, it's not a Myers lemon. I think it might be a Four Seasons lemon, but I'm not totally sure over that. This plant here, which is frankly one of my healthiest looking citrus, the growth on this is absolutely amazing, really good. This one is This is the Meyer Lemon double blood orange cross, so heaven knows what the fruit will be like that if it ever gets any. It's actually got a few flower buds on it, so it may set fruit. And the final citrus, which again is one of my more recent purchases, is Citrus Hystrix. Now this is the Kaffir lime. You have to be a little bit wary. It's called Kaffir lime in large parts of the world, but they have changed the common name in some countries, because if you don't pronounce it correctly, and you certainly if you pronounce it with a South African accent, it's very similar sounding to an offensive racial word. So I am wary of pronouncing it correctly. Now this is the one that the leaves are heavily used in cooking, especially in Thai cooking. They've got a wonderful scent to them, and you just slice them up or use them whole. So even if it doesn't flower or fruit, as long as you don't strip all the leaves off it, you've got the advantage of having these leaves for cooking. And if you just pinch them, they've got a lovely, with your nail, they've got a lovely scent to them. So that's I think that's all of that is my whole citrus collection. For anyone that was interested in citrus, I have been asked a few times. I normally just show them one at a time in videos, but I thought it'd be interesting to get them out so I could survey my whole collection. Obviously some of them are not particularly healthy looking. They do cause me a lot of troubles over winter, but interestingly enough, I have never actually lost a complete citrus plant, despite all my woes with root rot, leaf drop, pest attacks, dieback, until this happened to the finger lime or caviar lime. That's the first one where I've completely lost the main part of the plant, but I've still got a rootstock that may prove useful for grafting onto if the rootstock survives and shoots out. But up until then, although I've had a lot of woes with citrus, and it might sound like I've lost a lot of them, I've never actually lost a single citrus plant. Even the first ones I nearly lost, the Tahiti lime and the kumquat, I managed to save. So but it is tough over here. It's a challenge to keep growing them and moving them indoors and outdoors. It'd just be nice if I had a large, ideally a large greenhouse or conservatory is the way to go with the citrus in this country. But there are a couple there I've bought which I hope will be hardy enough to try outside. Oh, and I nearly forgot, as I'm doing my citrus collection, I've still got my in-ground Myers lemon, which has now been in the ground for 3 years. I planted it in May 2018. Although it did nothing for the first year, it's struggling along, and it is still managing to survive and grow, and it's getting a couple of flower bulbs on it. So who knows, I'm going to really concentrate this year on looking after it and feeding it with Epsom salts and citrus feed, and see if I can boost its growth through the summer. I've cut back the Daphne behind it quite hard to give it plenty of light, but I sort of let the Daphne grow over winter because I figured it would give the plant a lot more shelter from the cold, and it's certainly seems to have done it fine, and it's now got loads of new shoots appearing on it. So that's my in-ground outdoor Myers lemon that has so far survived 3 years, including this very cold winter we had this year, or periods of very cold weather. Anyway, thank you for watching. Anybody who's stuck with the whole video, I much appreciate it. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up if you like any of my citrus. Share it with anyone you think might be interested. You can grow citrus in the UK, but it's challenging to do anything worthwhile with them unless you've got the right growing conditions for them. But I like to have a go. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you're interested in seeing how these citrus and my other plants do this summer, then remember to click on that bell and you'll get updates on the new videos as they come out. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Brett out for now.